Here at the 2018 Chicago Auto Show, Toyota unveiled not one, not two, but three brand new 2019 TRD Pro vehicles. We're talking about the 4Runner, the Tundra, and behind me, the Toyota Tacoma. So, what are all the details? How are these trucks different from previous generations? Find out right now. For 2019, Toyota has stamped big red TRD on the skid plates. The 4Runner TRD Pro is one of my most favorite SUVs because of the way it drives. But for 2019, Toyota says they've improved the ride. I wonder how they did that. Let's start with the 4Runner. So the 4Runner TRD Pro has been there before, but what's changed for 2019?
So the big changes we've made are especially on the suspension side. So we've went from the Bilstein to the Fox shocks. It has the internal bypass technology on the shocks. So that's made a big improvement both on and off road for the targeted customers we have. So that's one of the big change points for this model year.
Okay, how about ground clearance, track width? Has it changed any?
So ground clearance is the same, track width is the same. They are different from the kind of the typical baseline 4Runner, but they're the same for model year 18 to model year 19 4Runner.
Okay, and how does it differ from the regular 4Runner?
So the front suspension is raised 1 inch on the 4Runner, and that maintains the same as the previous generation. So spring rate's the same, but there is just that 1 inch increase in coil spring length.
So when I test drove the TRD Pro 4Runner a couple of years ago, the original one, I really loved how it rode.
Yeah.
It had a nice ride, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you're saying it's better than this?
It's better. You're going to love it.
Wow.
Yeah. So the thing about this vehicle is, you know, with the increased internal bypass technology, the increased articulation due to droop travel, and the way we've tuned it for a different type of targeted on and off-road experience, you'll have a lot more confidence as you're bombing through the desert with this vehicle.
So talk to me. So internal bypass in the front, same in the rear?
That's correct. Yeah, one thing that's very interesting in the rear of the vehicle is we've gone to a piggyback reservoir, which was different than the previous generation where it was a remote reservoir. So it's a piggyback. As far as we know, it's the only one on the market for 4Runner that's a piggyback in the aftermarket or anywhere. So that was a big change point for us on this one.
And why do you need that extra reservoir? What does it give you?
So the nice thing about the extra reservoir is the oil capacity. It helps with higher speed driving when you're driving down the road, mostly for temperature concerns. So a typical shock will have high heat that's built up and you'll lead to some shock fade. With this type of technology and the extra reservoir, you'll basically be able to countermeasure that and have much cooler temperatures for zero fade.
Okay, let's go over really quick.
Yeah.
Available colors.
Yes. So there's going to be 3 colors: the black, white, and then the voodoo blue. So that's the kicker. That's the new one for this model year. Okay. So everyone's very excited. It came from our FJ experience, and we're really excited to bring it back.
Okay. How about the interior? About the same?
Pretty similar. Yeah, they're pretty similar from the past generation.
But there's something new.
Yes.
Is this new?
Yes, this is all new. The rugged roof rack we have here. So we've done a lot of benchmark. If you see some hints from FJ, it's very similar to FJ. It's got the kind of rugged overlander type of look, and it should make our customers pretty happy.
Well, overlanding is very popular these days, so I think this is going to be a good option.
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty macho looking.
Well, let's go look at the Tundra.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. I'm really glad that the Tundra TRD Pro is coming back for 2019. And I noticed one more thing. It now has Rigid Industries fog lights, LEDs, and they're bigger than on the Tacoma TRD Pro. Well, let's hear all the details about this truck. So the 2018 Tundra TRD Pro is not available. So you're bringing it back for 19.
We're bringing it back. Customers were really sad it went, but it's back.
I was sad.
Yes, it's been a popular one for us.
Tell me about it. You know, what's changed? What's new?
So some big changes on the suspension side. So we went with the Fox on this suspension, both front and rear, and they have piggyback reservoirs, both front and rear. So some pretty big changes on the suspension side.
So it's not the same shocks. I mean, it's not like you took the Tacoma shocks and just put them on here. It's a heavier truck, right? It's
a heavier truck. The design is completely different. So, you know, for us as TRD engineering, it's bespoke tuning for every single vehicle. So there's, you know, a unique set of mass for each vehicle, so a unique set of targets for each vehicle. So it's custom.
Yeah, and obviously, so leaf springs on the back, right?
Correct.
But there are TRD off-road springs, is that right?
Yes, we do. So we use the TRD off-road for the rear leaf springs. That's correct.
Yeah, and I see a new wheel.
Yes. Yes, we're very proud of this. So this is the forged wheel. So we save approximately 3 pounds per corner on this forged construction. Stronger wheel than a typical cast aluminum. Beautiful, as you can see. And we worked very hard with BBS Japan on this. So a valued partner from the Lexus side, and we decided to bring them on.
Tell me about your development and tire choices.
Yeah, so with the TRD customer, they're very passionate about off-road, and they're also very passionate about their tires. So in some cases, we used from the TRD trail off-road editions on, say, the Tundra and the Tacoma. Typically, this is kind of pretty popular for them to then maybe change it after the retail sale. But for us, we're really focusing on the customer for on-road noise, on-road fuel economy, those type of things. So typically that's kind of the standard line of development for these.
Because all 3 of these are riding on different tires. It's not like you went to one brand, one tire. So you're tuning each tire to each vehicle.
Early on in the program, we work with various people throughout the company. We select a tire, and then suspension development occurs after that.
And when are these trucks going to be available?
It's going to be fall of this year. So look for it around August and September of this year.
And what about price?
Pricing is going to be released closer to the timing once we roll up everything. So stay tuned for that.
Well, this air intake is actually mounted really solidly. There's another attachment point at the roof. And the Trd Pro Tacoma for 2019 will still offer a manual transmission option. You can get the 6-speed manual or still a 6-speed automatic. Well, let's find out what they've done to this truck and how different it is. Okay, here's the big one. The Toyota Tacoma is the best seller, right?
Yes.
For the trucks?
It is.
So what's new for 2019?
Actually, we made a lot of changes on this one.
Okay.
So it's a little bit hard to ignore, but this little thing behind my shoulder.
Yeah, what is that? Some people call it a snorkel.
It's not a snorkel. So this is the TRD Desert Air Intake.
Okay.
So this could be, from our understanding, the first for a production vehicle in North America. So we learned from worldwide vehicles such as the Hilux and South Africa, Australia, and especially used in those type of dusty conditions. And so that's why the purpose of this type of desert air intake is to have clean air for the engine.
Is the Trd Pro Tacoma going to come only in this option, or is that an additional accessory?
So this will be an option on the Trd Pro only.
Okay.
That's the current plan. So it'll come right from the factory. Our plant in Texas will stamp it.
You
and
check a box and say, I want it? Right?
Exactly. So the customer, we hope you all will check the box, but that would be the plan.
Okay, so how about the suspension and kind of the chassis of it?
So the suspension, if you remember, recently we went to the Fox suspension, and so that's the same. So the tuning's the same for this model. To kind of complement the suspension, we did make an exterior change. If you look underneath, there's the TRD stamped skid plate.
Okay.
In this case, we've changed the TRD red lettering to the kind of heritage TRD colors, but the suspension's the same for this vehicle. So in the back, so we changed the very popular catback exhaust to a black tip, just to kind of mesh and have harmony with the rest of the black appearance parts on the vehicle. So those are kind of some of the main key points for Tacoma.
That's cool. Has the fording depth changed any? Because I think people are wondering, now you have a higher intake. Has that changed?
Yeah, so it doesn't change. It doesn't change. Yeah, we don't recommend taking it past what we recommend for fording depth. Like I said, this was developed mainly for desert and high-speed driving events to provide cleaner air.
So these are not all new trucks. Toyota has made small incremental improvements, tire choices, and suspension tuning for each one of these. But I really have to drive these to find out exactly how they do off-road and also on-road. Go back to tfltruck.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews, and of course, lots more coverage from the 2018 Chicago Auto Show.